Ant-Man will defeat Thanos by crawling up his butt and expanding. Part of a series on Avengers Endgame. In this essay, I will... Hi again, guys. It's me, Kwite, and I finally found another excuse to bust out the gigantic, overpriced Infinity Gauntlet Pro. This cost $100 and the fucking thumb gets stuck. It's not on the setting where it's supposed to do that, and my hand's not in the glove. But that excuse is talking to you about a little Avengers Endgame fan theory that's been making the rounds recently and is all about funny butt sex. It goes a little something like this. The theory states that the reason Ant-Man wasn't included in Avengers Infinity War is because he is simply too powerful, and he could simply defeat Thanos by shrinking down in size, crawling up his butt canal, and then expanding to his 65-foot Chad giant size, thus making Thanos explode from the inside out. God bless KnowYourMeme.com for their help. This theory has been around in one form or another for quite some time actually, and is only now getting the true meme treatment it deserves. And this is in large part due to Thanos seeing a massive spike in Pornhub search trends. But in order to do these memes justice, I think it's necessary that we first take a look at some of the history of this meme to find out just how it got to this morally questionable point it finds itself in. Speculation of similar theories to this one actually began well before the release of Infinity War, around the time when it was still cool to openly crusade against pineapple and pizza. Here's one that dates back to July 2017, where Reddit user SodaBase proposed the following. They put the Hulk in the Ant-Man suit and he shrinks down and makes his way into Thanos' mouth. Then, it's just a waiting game. As soon as the Hulk makes it to the urethra, he turns his suit off. Thanos' manhood explodes as a blood-covered Hulk emerges from the bloody mess. Thanos falls down unconscious and slowly bleeds to death. r/Marvel Studios top post. Somebody I know will probably end up making it. 2/3 of a pregnancy later in December is when it seems it was first theorized that it would be Ant-Man himself that would non-consensually enter Thanos' body to tear him limb from limb. This was where Reddit user I Was Here Not You proposed that Ant-Man could go inside Thanos and make him go all Minecraft TNT through the back end. And also when user Maxwell the Beach made a fake poster of Ant-Man crawling into Thanos' ear, ready to explode his head into little meaty chicken nugget sized chunks. 1 second though, I must say, Ant-Man entering through the ear is a lot less funny than the poo-poo pee-pee humor of Ant-Man crawling into Thanos' butt, the whole of which is colloquially known as Tartarus, but I guess the ear version does work nonetheless. It was after the release of Infinity War though, when Ant-Man ended up actually not making an appearance, that the credence to the possibility of and belief in the theory continued to grow. Marvel saw the post about how Ant-Man could defeat Thanos by crawling into his ass and instantly growing in size, and that's why they didn't put him in the movie. Send tweet. Personally, I laughed at the part of the sentence where she typed send tweet. Just a bit of meta humor for you there. Very clever film gloss. This tweet in particular though managed to truly crawl its way, pun absolutely intended, up the ladder and got heard by the ears of Paul Rudd Ant-Man himself, where an interviewer from Entertainment IE asked him his thoughts on the fan theory, and since I'm not sure if using the footage of the interview will get me copyright claimed, instead I have my friend Grolix here to play the role of Ant-Man.
I'm Ant-Man, Scott Lang. I control ants, and I can go to the size of an ant. Pew pew. Hank Hill. Shit, no. Hank Pym, my mentor. I'm Ant-Man.
Haha, funny impression that one was, but after being asked to read the theory and to give his opinions on its viability, Paul Rudd said the following. I almost think it's a question for Thanos. If there's one thing we learned from Infinity War, it's that Thanos can take a lot of punishment. And for a while, there was radio silence. But as we approach closer and closer to the release date of Avengers Endgame, this theory has resurfaced once more. Though a little bit less as a theory and more as a meme having a good old time wiping its crusty ass crack with the crinkled and itchy web pages of Reddit. But this meme has become so pervasive recently though that Thanos has been training himself for the very likely possibility that the final battle could come down to him and Ant-Man. We have the exclusive inside scoop here on the Kwite YouTube channel of the Mad Titans training regimen. You can see it pictured here. Thanos prepares for his fight against Ant-Man. Yes, bitch! Work them buns of steel! Make that booty clap like a fly swatter! You got 2 fingers, 3 fingers, and then you got an army of ants crawling up your ass. Good luck falling asleep for the next decade without seeing that imagery in your head. Here we have one that might have actually been a subliminal marketing campaign for flex tape. Thanos puts flex tape over his butthole. Ant-Man, let me in! Let me in! See, this fell off the thing just because I shook it real hard. Terrible. Phil Swift is really starting to get a grasp on this whole meme and social media marketing thing, it seems. Next thing you know, he'll be hosting meme review and all that shit. Modern problems require modern solutions. This next one involves a different pill who I also quite enjoy. The pun wasn't intended that time, fuck you. But that being the one and only Philip DeFranco and his fantastic let's just jump into it meme. Thanos' asshole. Exist. Ant-Man. Let's just jump into it. I got 2 left hands. I know. I essentially gave away the punchline before even reading the meme and therefore ruining it. And for this, you have my deepest apologies. And just to show you how sincere and how deep my apologies are, let me tell you that my apologies are as deep as Thanos' asshole is gonna be when Ant-Man finishes up with it. But moving on nonetheless, Thanos pulls down pants to take a shit. And suddenly Ant-Man comes out of nowhere, diving into that hole, breaking the sound barrier as he does. Goku ain't shit, but flex tape is. Best of luck, Scott Lang, you will need it. This one here has no punchline. It's not really a meme though, is it? Based on the image quality, I would say that this is probably just a leaked Avengers Endgame screenshot. We have a set of purple/blue colored legs standing on a floor, and from the angle we're looking from, they don't appear to be dressed in any clothes. And standing between them in a shrunken down AAA battery sized form, perhaps unknowingly to the owner of those legs, Ant-Man lies in wait for the perfect time to strike. Now, while the source of this image is almost certainly from the actual movie, it might be a bit too soon to say that these are actually the legs of Thanos himself. The first inkling I got of this was the blue tint to the legs. As we all know, Thanos was very clearly purple in Infinity War. And while he was kinda Smurf sky blue in previous films, in Infinity War and Endgame, he looks like he's staying that really wart-colored purple. Which makes me think that these legs actually belong to Nebula, as she is the only still living character in the MCU I can think of that has blue skin. Not to mention that the calves are kinda small to be Thanos's. But to cap this brief and exhilarating saga of showcasing memes off, here's my absolute favorite version of it. Thanos when he uses the Space Stone to expand his asshole when Ant-Man tries to grow inside of it. Oh, fuck yeah, spread it! You know, this image file does bring up a good point though. We can't dismiss the fact that Thanos appears to still have a working Infinity Gauntlet at his disposal. We have to include this fact in any future calculations we make. With that being said, I think it's time we take our leave from the meme side of this and see just how plausible this theory could be to pull off and how likely it is that it will be in the film itself. Now, there was one tweet I made about this meme prior to this video. Ant-Man gonna crawl up Thanos' butt, we all know it, as I am a firm believer that this theory is true and I wanted to broadcast it to the world. One of the replies was Ant-Man flying really fast in the back of an ant, coming for that booty, very cool, but the reply someone made that had the potential to completely deflate the idea of this happening at all was a screenshot of a Russo brothers tweet. Just to be clear, Ant-Man will not be crawling into Thanos' asshole and then expand in Avengers Endgame.
Immediately, my mind began to race. I clutched my hands in my head, a million thoughts running through it at once, but not a single idea of how to deal with the situation. My body trembled at the pressure of the issue that it now found itself in. But then I realized something. The tweet was a fake.
You see, the date this tweet was posted was on November 11th, 2018, and this tweet used the title of the movie Avengers Endgame. But the actual title of the movie wasn't revealed until almost a month after that date. Also in this tweet, the Russo brothers spelled Endgame wrong. You know what to do, everybody. It's time to bully these guys in the replies for making a very understandable typo. Speaking of the Russo brothers Twitter replies, this Ant-Man meme has completely ruined them. If you type at Russo brothers in the Twitter search, one of the auto-completes is Ant-Man. This already doesn't bode well, but actually going through with the search will only bring pain to your eyes. So is Ant-Man expanding in Thanos' ass or not? We all know that Ant-Man is gonna make himself big after jumping in Thanos' ass. We gotta make sure that Ant-Man expands in Thanos' ass. Safe to say that the Russo brothers are either laughing their asses off or are having very frequent appointments with their therapists. Now, as far as this theory being viable, one of the biggest arguments for why it won't that I've seen is that Thanos can take a lot of punishment, like Paul Rudd said, and that if Ant-Man expanded while inside of him, since he is made of much weaker material, it wouldn't end up with Thanos exploding, but rather Ant-Man getting crushed. And I think that's actually true, but I don't necessarily think that makes the method not work. It just means the strategy is an even bigger sacrifice. I mean, think about it. If Ant-Man gets crushed instead of making Thanos spontaneously combust, all of that human ant gunk is now stuck inside of Thanos' body. And there's still like a good chance that the goo could gum up all of Thanos' organs and make them stop working, and then boom, they win. Of course though, there is still that issue of the Infinity Gauntlet to work about. God, how could I forget? Thanos can make reality whatever he wants after all. But you might just be forgetting that the Infinity Gauntlet looks like burnt beef stew at the end of Infinity War. And while it was still able to teleport Thanos away from Earth, we haven't seen him use it since. It might have taken even more damage since the snap, and it might even be completely out of commission. Listen lads, all I have to say is to hold out hope and that this is gonna work, guys, because I don't know what I'll do if it doesn't. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap this Ant-Man going into Thanos' booty hole meme now. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to drop a like, and if you're new, subscribe. If you guys want to check out my streams, I'm pretty much streaming daily on Twitch, twitch.tv/Kwite. Follow me there to find out when I go live. If you want to check out my merch, you can go to kwiteshop.com, shit is slick. If you want to support the channel a little more directly, you can do so by clicking that join button next to the subscribe button and donating $5 a month to get things like custom badges and custom emotes. It's totally optional, but it helps out the channel, and it is much appreciated. I have a podcast with wild Spartans and FPS Diesel called Labmass. We upload one new episode every week on Saturdays, and we're up on iTunes, SoundCloud, and YouTube. You can follow me on Twitter at Kwite and on Instagram at Kwite.png. Links to both of those in the description below. And lastly, I also have a Discord server. Links to that in the description as well if you're interested. Anyways, this has been Kwite, and I will see you guys next time.
I can say the N-word because my last name's Lang, because I'm Scott Lang, aka Ant-Man.